What a beautiful afternoon at Kansas Speedway. Camping World Truck Series playoff action continuing with practice and qualifying this afternoon leading into the race tonight. And what a big race it is. The third playoff race and a playoff cutoff race as well. And if the first two races are any indication, we are in for quite a show tonight. NASCAR is back at Indianapolis Raceway Park, and what a big race it is tonight. The playoff opener for the NASCAR Camping World Truck Series. Oh, Nemechek got into the 44 of Chris Wright and has gone around. NASCAR overtime. Nemechek gets into the wall. Grant Enfinger entered the playoffs 9th out of 10 drivers, but he has turned it around in one start of the playoffs. Grant Enfinger wins at IRP. This is Richmond Raceway for the NASCAR Camping World Truck Series.
The jackman for that truck slipped going over the wall.
Ben Rhodes is the next guy to get put a lap down.
Chandler Smith is just not taking any prisoners.
There was no luck in this one tonight. It was pure domination. Chandler Smith wins at Richmond.
Hell yeah, boys!
So as we head into this cutoff race here this evening, Chandler Smith and Grant Enfinger already secure into round two. And you see the point situation involving the others. Matt Crafton on the bubble. Carson Hocevar and Christian Eckes need to make a move tonight. But first, it's practice and qualifying. Great to have you with us. Michael Waltrip, Phil Parsons, I'm Vince Welch. It has been 27 days since that most recent race at Richmond. How about that break, Phil? Blessing or curse?
Well, I think it depends on where you are on that playoff grid. The two guys that you talk about being locked in, Grant Enfinger, Chandler Smith, it's been like a vacation. But those other guys down around the cut line, Matt Kraft and Carson Hocevar, Christian Eckes, it's been some sleepless nights worrying about this race because their race for the championship may end here tonight. It's going to end for two guys for sure, and all three of those guys hope it's not them.
How about this 20-minute practice and then qualifying, Mike? What do they need to get accomplished?
Intense, Vince. You got to get out there and get on the track, figure out what you've got. And qualifying is really important in 2022. I'm going to go Larry McReynolds on you and give you a stat. Of the 18 races we've had, 14 winners have come from the top 5. We were here a few months ago. John Hunter Nemechek sat on the pole, got a good finish. But Zane Smith qualified 4th, and he was the man. He dominated the race from a great starting position. So I want to make sure when I hit the racetrack, I got something I like. I like what I'm feeling in my truck. And then when I go qualify, I got to be in that top 5.
Yeah, the only track we've come back to after having raced earlier in the season. So we're about to find out, did you make the right changes if you weren't happy with what you had in May? The qualifying and practice just ahead of the playoffs. Trucks on track here at Kansas Speedway. Practice 20 minutes in length, and then we'll have qualifying to set the lineup for the race tonight. The playoff cut race, elimination race. 2 will be eliminated at the end of the race tonight. And right now, on the outside looking in, Carson Hocevar and Christian Eckes. Let's get their stories down on pit road with Josh Sims and Jamie Little. Hello, gang.
Hello, Vince. Yes, you mentioned it's a big night. Elimination race tonight, and Carson Hocevar, the first man right now on the outside looking in. He's the youngest driver in the playoff field at 19 years old, so I asked him, what's the pressure like knowing you have to step up in order to make it to the next round? He said, honestly, I am focused on winning this race. We have not done that as a team yet. And number 2, this is a 1.5 mile track. This is our bread and butter, and I feel like we can get it done. He has 20 minutes right now to see where he stacks up for tonight's race. Josh Sims?
Well, Jamie, another team that's looking to see where they stack up is Christian Eckes and the 98. And Christian was telling me that they went through their worst stretch of the season in the first 2 races of the postseason. So that 27-day break might have been stressful for some, but he said he needed to get away. He needed a break. He went on vacation for 5 days and came back ready to race. He stressed to me before practice, we are not a 10th place truck. Well, the good news, they're coming to a track he's been very good at. 4 straight top 10s here at Kansas. They've got a brand new truck. Now they're getting a feel for what it can do during practice. And the goal for them tonight, go for the win, because he says this team has what it takes to contend, guys.
Yeah, good points, Josh. And for the 98 of Eckes, only 3 stage points in these first 2 playoff races. And that's another thing, Mike, you talked about the significance of qualifying. If you have a good qualifying result, you're going to be in a lot better position to get stage points at the end of stage 1. And certainly Eckes hasn't been able to do that through these first 2 races, and maybe that's why he finds himself on the outside looking in.
You know, Vince, these races are relatively short, and so you sort of set your tone after qualifying. You know you're in a position to grab some stage points, and they're very, very important. So these guys have to try to get a great qualifying effort. We talked about the 14 of 18 winners coming from the top 5, but just think of all the stage points that have been gathered by those guys that start up front as well. Very, very, very important session we're watching right here, and qualifying equally as important in just a bit.
Here's Chandler Smith in that 18 truck, of course, the winner at Richmond. In fact, he's won 2 of the last 3. He won the regular season finale at Pocono as well.
I think he's an interesting cat right now. I talked about him before the race in Richmond, how he was my pick to win that race and one of my favorites to be the champion this year. He's just hitting his stride right at the right moment. We laugh about the 27 days off and how relaxing it's been for Chandler Smith, but as a racer, Phil, you're like, you want to go. You're on a roll. You won 2 of the last 3 races. You don't want to take a month off.
Not at all, and that's the dichotomy between, whether you enjoy the time off or want to get to the racetrack. I know Chandler Smith's been doing a little bit of racing, but we talked about Michael mostly all year long. Remember how good Ben Rose was the first 5 or 6 races of the year, and then Zane Smith has been solid throughout this entire year. But I'm almost thinking that the favorite has shifted to Chandler Smith with those 2 wins in the last 3 races. I mean, he's been so good, and obviously he's got a lot of experience on the pit box with Danny Stockman. He's won a Truck Series championship as well as an Xfinity Series championship, so he knows what he's doing too.
There's the 99 of Ben Rhodes, the defending series champion. A little different paint scheme in that bright orange. Kubota celebrating their 50th anniversary in the United States, on board as sponsor for Rhodes today. And there's the 38 of Zane Smith, who just absolutely dominated this race here at Kansas back in May.
I was listening to XM radio this morning, and Zane Smith was on there talking about this event and how much he said we're perfect in the spring. How cool is that to have that confidence coming into a racetrack that you love? It's his favorite track, he said, because of the performance.
In your history, Mike, when you were in that situation where you raced somewhere and you were absolutely great, and then the next time you went back there, did you find yourself great again, or did you more often find yourself a little disappointed looking for what you had before?
No, I think there's horses for courses, Vince, and if you as a driver love what you feel when you go to a place like, I always love certain racetracks when I would go there, and the performance generally tended to be there. So I think it's exactly what Zane is looking for right now to end this first round of the playoffs. He's at a place that he dearly loves.
And I think it's gone both ways, Vince. Even though you're comfortable and have a great run at a racetrack, you can go back later that fall. Obviously, most of these racetracks are in the part of the country that the sun's beat on the asphalt all summer long, and the conditions are a little bit different. The racetrack is a little bit different. Sometimes Goodyear brings a different tire that changes some things. But as we watch these 2 teammates, you look at the 51 of Corey Heim moving up the racetrack. I watched the earlier race from this year, and there's times when they're right up against that wall. They're going to be from the bottom to the top of the racetrack.
And that white truck behind him is KBM teammate John Hunter Nemechek, one of the more interesting stories of the season. 5-time winner last year, just 1 win this year, and many have kind of asked what's wrong with John Hunter and this 4 team, but Eric Phillips, I was talking with him this week, and he said, well, we won 5 times last year and didn't win the championship, so maybe we're going to go a different route this time. So we'll find out. About halfway through this 20-minute practice session, getting ready for racing tonight at Kansas.
Some are title contenders like Elliott, Larson, and Busch, while others are looming like Chastain and Suarez. One thing is clear, there's a storm brewing as the NASCAR playoffs return for a Texas-sized showdown at the Auto Trader Echo Park Automotive 500 Sunday, September 25th. Be a part of the action and enjoy tons of live entertainment and fun for the whole family. Plus, all new fan amenities like the world's longest belly-up bar and more. Lock in your tickets at TexasMotorspeedway.com.
Back at Kansas Speedway, Just under 9 minutes left in this practice session, and then we'll qualify for the race tonight. Matt Crafton fastest so far in the 88. What do you make of this early practice session run for the 88, Josh?
Yeah, Matt Crafton was fighting a truck that was a little too loose at first, so they made a couple adjustments, a track bar, a wedge, a packer, and look where he is now, top of the board. And when I talked to Matt Crafton before practice, given where he was 3 above the cut line, I asked him if he was feeling any pressure to hold on to this in advance, and he kind of laughed and said pressure. He says, given what we did during the regular season struggling, we're with house money right now. He said, let the guys below the cut line feel all the pressure. We're good, and we're at a track where he's won 3 times in the past. So Matt Crafton not feeling the pressure right now, Jamie.
And his teammate Ben Rhodes way down in 22nd right now. I've been listening to his radio. He told the team, guys, the truck feels pretty darn good. And Rich Lucius, his crew chief, came on the radio and said, hey, those guys that are at the top of the board, they've been drafting, so don't look at those numbers. We're not that far off. He's also focused on running the bottom of the racetrack. That's something he could not do in the race back in May.
Well, and when you look at that speed chart, you see Rhodes 22nd. That would give Ben Rhodes fans reason for alarm.
You know what, though? That's what Rick Lucius becomes. He's got to be a bit of a psychologist as well, helping Ben through that fact that he's down outside of the top 20, but we got good lap times in the long run. We've been running alone. We're running the bottom. We're learning a lot. If you like the truck, Ben Rhodes is a veteran. He's a champion. He knows everything it takes to win this race. If he likes what he's feeling, I like what Rich is saying to him.
And Michael, we know all that, but I'm still concerned looking at the scoring monitor with Ben down outside of the top 20. His last lap on the track was a 32:30. That's after 9 laps. I saw John Hunter Nemechek run, as a matter of fact, his 17th lap, his 32:15. He was running down in the 31s like at 12 and 13 laps. So that's a little bit of a difference right there. Let's listen to what Zane Smith's talking about.
Absolute box. I just did super good. You just made Dylan Barr 10-4. What do you think like tonight? I definitely think it's going to free up a couple numbers from where you are now. What do you think you need to do that? I just 1 and 2 I'm manageable, but 3 and 4 I'm a little too free. Like the back end just hung out a little bit too much.
Interesting stuff from Zane Smith. And the track will change. It'll be cooler tonight. The sun will go down. There's going to be some tire fall off. Already Christian Eckes in under 20 laps has lost about a second in his lap time. The draft, we heard Rich Lucius mention that. I mean, there's a lot of components in play when we go racing tonight.
And I like the fact where Zane Smith is. He knows how good a truck he had. He knows that feel he had here in the spring. So he knows what a truck needs to feel like to have a dominant truck. So he said just a little bit free in one end of the racetrack. So I know he's trying to get that feel back. And again, you know, that's why you talk about the changes, Vince, and the fact that Goodyear's actually, or NASCAR's given these teams an extra set of tires. They will have 5 sets of tires for this race. They'll throw away these practice tires, and the track temperature right now is over 120 degrees. You talk about it being cooler at night. The ambient temperature is not going to be a lot cooler, but that track temperature will sure come down, and that's going to make a big difference.
Interesting here as we see the 17 of Ryan Preece, a winner earlier this season at Nashville. There he is on a late restart in that green 17 truck and taking the checkered flag. His last 2 truck starts, a first and a second. So you have to consider him to be a favorite tonight, even though, I mean, we're going to talk a lot about the playoff guys, but there's some pretty good guys outside the playoff picture that are going to be contenders tonight.
And I think that's really hard to do for somebody that's not there every week. Now, this team is there every week, and they run extremely well, but that shows you how talented Ryan Preece is, that he can come in every now and then and be as competitive as he is.
Chad Johnston, the crew chief on that 17. All that Cup experience doesn't hurt you any either. Less than 5 minutes left in practice, and then we're going to qualify. One of the great stories of the Truck Series season right there. Ty Majeski, driver of the 66 truck for Thor Sport Racing, comes into this cutoff race at plus 36. Got to feel good about himself and his position.
Yeah, especially his best finish came right here earlier this year, Vince, and he's second on the board, so obviously a lot of speed, a lot of experience. We talk about experience calling the shots. Joe Shear right there talking to Ty has about as much experience as anybody out here.
23 of Grant Enfinger, winner to open the playoffs at IRP. Jamie?
Grant Enfinger in the 23, average finish of 2.5 in the first 2 rounds of this playoff so far. And I talked to him about what that has done for him in this first round. He said, hey, a night like tonight, it kind of takes the pressure off us. We can mix up strategy. We can do whatever we want because we know we're guaranteed to move on to the next round. Now, as far as the truck, well, Vince, you mentioned he won that race in the opening round at IRP. This is that same truck he went to victory lane with. And his feedback so far, he just can't carry speed through the entry of the corner. Needs a little help through the center, so they're trying to make it better, a little bit of air pressure.
And Grant is typically good here as well, but boy, how good was he at IRP to open up the playoffs? So impressive. Came into the playoffs seeded 9th of 10. And it took one race to change all that with that great win at IRP.
And a great pit call by Jeff Hensley, bringing him to pit road for 4 tires late, inside of 10 laps to go.
Good thing he didn't listen to you, Phil.
I know.
You told him to stay out.
Oh, thanks for reminding me, Michael. I appreciate that.
But what a few weeks has been for Maury Gallagher, huh?
Oh, man.
Got that huge win in the Southern 500 with Richard Petty and Eric Jones, and then wins the big race, the return to IRP in the short track classic event. Man, that's so cool that Maury's having so much fun these days.
You know, I think you make a great point, Mike, in talking about Eric Jones winning that race at Darlington, a guy not in the playoffs. And here we have a race tonight, and I think you've got some contenders who aren't in the playoffs. We talked about Ryan Preece earlier. Corey Heim has already won a couple of times this season. DiBenedetto is picking up steam, but you've got Brett Moffitt, former series champ, is running the 22 truck tonight, and Parker Kligerman won his most recent start in the series, and he's back in the field tonight.
Well, and you know how Tanner Gray started the season, 3 straight top 10s. He fell off the map lately, but top 10 in this session. That's another guy in a truck that I think can go to victory lane. So many great stories in the Camping World Truck Series.
You see Derek Kraus there, top 5 in this practice session. He's another guy that can go to victory lane. Hasn't been there yet, but knocks on the door on occasion.
What about our 6th place guy in this session, Stuart Friesen? He got to practice. He didn't get to do that in the spring. His plane didn't land in time.
Practice complete. We're going to take a quick break and come back with qualifying from Kansas. Well, look at that sky. Huh? Picture perfect.
What's that over there on the right, Vince?
That's the house that Phil built. Known as the Kansas Casino.
Yeah, I gotcha.
Unfortunately, Vince,
if we zoom in really tight, there's a statue of Phil there. And,
what a great area, though, huh? You got the casino, you got the soccer field.
It all built up. The racetrack was the first thing there, and it's all built around.
Remember when we went there for the first time? There was nothing.
But a racetrack. But a racetrack.
Yeah. Thank you, Phil. We really enjoyed it.
I'm happy you guys enjoyed that place there.
The 42 of Carson Hocevar. Got some work to do tonight, Jamie. How's he feel about practice?
Yeah, a little bit of work to do for the 42, but the good news for him, Vince, look at this. 3 months ago, broke the ankle. There's no cane. You're back to normal. How does it feel?
I mean, almost back to normal. I still found ways to get hurt or something. I'll find more ways to hurt myself somehow, but no, it's been fun. It's been a good time. More so anything, I'm just glad not to be carrying anything. I can walk normally. I can't run exactly yet, but getting there. But our 42 Worldwide Express Chevy is pretty solid right now. I don't have a lot of friends out there, and I don't really have a lot of teammates that are, they're still all learning. It's a lot easier when you have 3 or 4 trucks really, really fast. You can all get in a draft and get a really good lap time and figure out your balance, where I felt like alone out there. Me and the 38 are right with each other, I think, and that's our baseline. I didn't really get a good draft lap compared to some guys, and it's easy to look at the board and say we're off, but I feel like balance-wise we're pretty good, and that's really all you can go off on these deals. We don't have enough power to do it on our own. We need at least a little help. So, but no, I think our 42, these guys are working for 3 weeks. So this is our brand new truck. This is all the resources we got. This is WWX and Al and East are here, and we're gonna do the best we can. But this is all we got. All our chips are in. Nice Motorsports doesn't have a lot of resources to rely on yet, and we're just clawing and grabbing and making a lot out of what we got.
All right, he comes in 3 points below that cut line that we're talking about. We'll see if he can race his way into round number 2 of the playoffs. Josh?
Well, here with Ty Majeski, second on the board during practice. You got out before practice was even over, so it sounds like you're happy with the truck right now.
Yeah, I feel really good about it. Joe and all the guys worked on this thing to make it as close as they could to the spring. We had a really solid race, finishing second to Zane. So I feel like we have a good package. Made a few minute changes to sort of help some of the things that we were fighting and lacking here in spring. So happy with our Road Ranger 66 Toyota, and hopefully we can have a good qualifying run, have a good solid first stage, and go racing from there.
Been 27 days since the last time you guys were on the track. How did you handle the break, and were you okay with it, or did it kill a little momentum?
You know, we've been riding some good momentum coming off a good run at IRP and Richmond, but I stayed busy staying in the late model, had a few top 5 finishes in the late model, so I always stay busy, even though we're off truck racing. Always like to race the late models, have a ton of fun doing that. So just happy to have the opportunity to race good late models and good trucks. You know, we're in the playoff hunt here. It's a great opportunity for myself, and ready to make the most of it.
All about seat time for Ty, and it's even better when you're running well, Jamie.
Yeah, and look out competition. Matt Crafton, a 3-time winner here on top of the board. So I know there's been talk about you guys caught the draft out there, but how did you feel your truck was handling overall?
Very good. We started off very good. I mean, it posted a number. I timed that one right, but even if we were by ourselves, I definitely felt it would have been a top 5 run, if not the fastest, if we were all just single run. Shane and these guys have been working really hard. Brand new truck that we built up. I mean, 100% ThorSport truck up in Ohio. So it's very, very cool to go out there and be at the top of the board, and Majeski and Eckes holding the ThorSport chassis and everything. So you guys up at the shop doing a very good job. And like I said, now time is just tweaking on the chassis a little bit. We got it a little bit tight in the middle of that practice, and then we went back to pretty neutral and pretty happy with it right there at the end.
All right, we'll see how she does in qualifying. Thanks, Matt. Josh?
Well, here with the man who was on the pole here in the spring. How did you feel, John Hunter, after practice and your chances of getting a pole and then going on to try and get a win?
I feel pretty good about our long run speed and our Mode 1 Toyota Tundra TRD Pro. We learned a lot from the spring, what not to do. So we came back here with a little bit different package, and looking forward to tonight. The biggest thing for us is surviving and advancing. So hopefully we can go set on another pole, but really the checkered flag is what we want. Try and get that out of the way before the next round starts and advance to the next round. And then it starts to get hectic. So looking forward to it.
Thanks and good luck, John Hunter. Guys?
Yeah, it's interesting, but he said, you know, about the long run speed. They were happy with the long run speed, and that's something they struggled with here in May.
He's my favorite. I watched practice, looked at the numbers. He is really fast after 10, 15 laps. He likes his truck. You could see the confidence. Phil, who are you going to take? I got John Hunter.
I really like Majeski.
Do you?
Yeah, I like Majeski. I like the fact that he ran so well. He said Joe and the guys have tried to get that same feel back for him, and he was fast, obviously, in practice. You talk about John Hunter. Right below him was Ty Majeski.
Yeah, those are 2 guys you're going to have to beat tonight to win this race.
And what about the 23? Grant Enfinger, he opened up the playoffs with that win at IRP. And then what I like about not just that win at IRP, but then backed it up with a 4th-place finish at Richmond. Jeff Hensley, his old crew chief, back on the top of the box, and maybe they've rekindled and found that magic again. But then Ben Rhodes, 2nd at IRP, but more concerned about 18th at Richmond, and just in general the way they have been running in this second half of the season. I mean, at Richmond, at one time he was 2 laps down.
Yeah, they got lapped on the track. There wasn't any performance at all at Richmond. Very surprising, and we've seen that recently with Ben. The speed just hasn't been there, so hopefully they can rally, turn it around, have a great solid night tonight, and go to that next round with some confidence.
We talked about, I'm sorry, Vince, we talked about how good they were at the beginning of the season, and I think they talked about maybe that they got a little bit off track trying some things, trying to get better, because you get so little practice. Obviously, we had 20 minutes of practice here, and obviously now they know with the playoffs starting, it's time to get back with something they know. And they had that great run at IRP, finished 2nd, but as you guys talked about, probably their poorest effort of the year, I would think, at Richmond.
Yeah, they only that IRP race, the only top 5 they've had in the last dozen races. And he's had some other things to celebrate, though. For instance, his son was born on August 25th. Theo Rhodes, Theodore officially, but Look at Theo looking up at Dad. Boy, what a great moment.
He's a little guy, huh?
Oh, my goodness gracious.
Beautiful sight, isn't it?
Oh.
Phil, your little grandson's coming along, huh?
Yeah, it'll be 3 months Sunday. Yeah, sure is.
Melt your heart, don't they?
Jamie, has Ben getting any sleep?
I'm not sure, but I can tell you that Theo is actually here at the racetrack. Congratulations first off, but what's it been like being a dad and now being back at the racetrack with your baby boy?
Really, really fun. A lot of perspective on life, honestly. I've been telling people he's the greatest thing I never knew I needed. He's a true blessing. But yeah, happy to be back at the racetrack. He's here actually back in the RV right now. You know, I know that he'll be cheering us on the best that he can with his little baby self. And we're just going to go out here and have fun today. It's the playoffs, the intensity's up, but I feel like we honestly really do have a good Kubota Toyota Tundra. I think we were third on the averages, but we didn't fire off the best. We're working on changes right now to make sure that we fire off fast, to qualify up front. Obviously, qualifying is important. We want to be up front. It makes our day a lot more easy, or a lot easier. That's bad English. Sorry, Jamie.
You got it. We understand. That's Ben Rhodes.
And here's Trey Hutchins on track in that 14, the first qualifier of the day. His only start this season was here at Kansas back in May, was 29th. You'll get 2 laps, and the best time of your 2 is your qualifying lap.
38 trucks here, Vince. That means 2 are going to go home. And Trey is one that, as you mentioned, only 1 start, so he's way down point-wise. And so hopefully he's got to make the top 31. That's the key. Top 31 are guaranteed to be in on time.
I don't think that's going to do it, Phil.
Nah.
Look at the practice speeds. 31st fastest in practice was a 32:40. Now, we talk about the fact that they were drafting, and that could play a factor into it. But blowing up your tires and getting qualifying trim around your truck generally picks up time. So I'd be a bit concerned if I was at 14.
Yeah, I think so too.
Yeah, and let me correct myself. Just 1 lap on the mile and a half some bigger. So just the 1 shot at it as Fogelman posts the 32:54.
That's creeping down there. I think you need to run to be comfortable to be in that top 31. Need to run about a 20.
I would think so. I probably don't have to be in the 31s, but I think you got to be down in the lower 32s.
Right on. But uneventful is sometimes a blessing on these mile and a halves. I can't express to the folks at home listening what a commitment it takes. Listen to this, Phil. You got to leave pit road and run down to turn 3 as hard as you can, wide open, and hope it sticks. You know, and then you sort of start judging what you have from there. Is it tight enough? Am I loose? Am I pushing? What am I doing? It takes a commitment to get through 3 and 4 to come and get the green. I'm not even talking about necessarily the qualifying lap itself, but just getting there to get the green with great pace.
That was always so demoralizing when you went in turn 3 on your warm-up lap and your car wasn't very good or truck wasn't very good, because it doesn't get any better, does it?
No, it generally gets worse as time goes, as you keep on going.
Watching Tyler Hill in that 5 truck running a part-time schedule, and I got in the wall here off 4.
He was committed, Michael. As you talked about the commitment, he was committed for sure.
Then he backed her down.
Brother Timmy running a full-time schedule, and Tyler running a handful of races. So take a look at the 46 of Brennan Poole, making his 6th start this season.
That's a cool-looking truck, isn't it? Mike on the side.
Yeah, Brennan was 32nd in practice. Hopefully he can pick it up a little bit. And again, some of the times, you know, because of the truck's drafting and you were out there by yourself, it may look a little bit odd. But as you can see, Brennan Poole jumps to the top of the board at a 32.32, just in front of Timmy Hill's 32.39.
As mentioned, 38 trucks here for 36 spots. And Michael made the point earlier about the importance of qualifying, and of our 18 races this season, 14 of the winners have started in the top 5.
Some of these trucks we're looking at now, Vince, just want to start.
Yes.
Have to make that commitment I talked about. Run with that throttle nearly wide open, sideways as we see here with Maggio.
17-year-old.
That's all Mason wanted right there.
And then some.
That's a shame too, because that cost him over a second. Tried to run the high line. I was a little bit surprised. I think I was thinking we would see more trucks around the middle, low to middle. He went right out next to the outside wall, and there just wasn't any grip there. Check this out. Right there, little bobble.
Pretty nice save there, a couple of them.
Recently turned 18, I'm told. Of course, has to be 18 or older to run on these bigger tracks. Brings us to the 20 of Jesse Little. Opened up the season with that terrific finish at Daytona, 6th career best 6th. Did not run at Richmond, but had a top 20 at IRP to open up the playoffs, 15th there in Indianapolis. Let's go downstairs to Josh.
Yeah, and standing by with the man who won in dominant fashion here in the spring, Zane Smith, during practice. How did you feel about the truck, and is it close to what you had in May?
Yeah, I feel like we have a really good Front Row Motorsports Hamsters USA Ford. If anything, I think it feels a little bit better than what we had earlier in the year, so I'm excited about it. I feel like our race run speed was pretty good. There's a couple trucks I'd say that are a little bit better than us right now, but we're in the heat of the day, not a cool night. So we'll see what we have tonight. I'm excited about it. I love coming to Kansas. Definitely one of my favorite tracks.
And since the last time we saw Zane, it was announced he'll be back in the 38 truck next season with some cup opportunities as well, Jamie.
And Ryan Preece in the truck for the 8th time this season. And I swear, every time you jump in this truck, you guys have a shot to win it. You've already got one this year. How do you and your crew chief, Chad Johnson, get up to speed so quickly, know what you need to go fast here?
He's just really fun to work with, to be honest with you. But yeah, we have a really fast Morton Buildings F-150 today, and I know the practice speeds don't really show that, but I'm really happy with the balance, and we'll see what we got here in a little bit for qualifying.
All right, he's got 9 starts here between Cup and Xfinity, but his first truck start, Vince.
Yeah, and as those interviews were taking place, Parker Kligerman qualified his 75 truck at the top of the board with a 31.78, and now watching Bailey Curry, and he goes to the top 31.53. And keep an eye on Curry. In last season, he had a really good run here at Kansas. Started at the rear and ran up inside the top 10, ended up finishing 12th, but was really better than what a 12th place finish would indicate.
You know, when we talked to Carson Hocevar, he was talking about his teammates being young, and he was talking about Wallace Allen but not Bailey Curry. Bailey Curry's a regular on the Xfinity Series. I think he was forgetting the fact that he had a teammate that had some experience and that can help him during that race.
And I will tell you, I got a lot of energy for Bailey Curry. He always seems to take his car, truck, whatever he gets in, and puts it up in the top 15, nudging up against that top 10. A lot of talent in that young racer, and this is a good truck. We heard Carson talking about the fact that they had a brand new Nice truck, the best they have. And so all that will trickle down to these other vehicles. Look for Curry to be in the top 20, battling for a top 10 tonight.
And there's Armani Williams finishing up his run in the 8th position. Just underway, qualifying for the Camping World Truck Series at Kansas. Sunday afternoon, get you ready for round 2 of the NASCAR Cup Series playoffs. 1 race down, 2 to go in round 1. No one locked into the next round, so the pressure is there for all. Join Adam Alexander, Jamie McMurray, David Reagan for NASCAR Race Day, Sunday at 12:30 on FS1. Well, how about Eric Jones getting that big win at Darlington? That was so cool. Happy for him and all the 43 bunch. And Mike, you mentioned, of course, Richard Petty. Eric said he wanted that hat, but Maury Gallagher and company, big for them as well.
Well, you know what a fan I am of the King. I lived with him for a while, and I've gotten to know Maury Gallagher really well, and they've just done some great things there at Petty GMS, and it's good to see good people rewarded. And I talked to Eric a little bit about that hat, and he said, I can't wait to get it. So I took a picture of my hat, and I said, you get yours yet? He said, oh, yeah. So it's cool.
Was the King happier to get that win or happier to get you off his couch back in the day?
Probably
a push. Probably a push.
I would say I just about overstayed my welcome at the point when I moved out. But those are memories that I will cherish forever, getting to sit on the couch after a NASCAR race when I was a teenager, listening to Richard Petty tell me about what happened. I couldn't even dream of that, and it was happening.
Well, you saw Blaine Perkins finish up his qualifying run in the 3rd position. Job well done. And watching Spencer Boyd now So a lot of experience here at Kansas. 7 starts here, more than any other track that he's gone to. So you got to feel like he's got some extra confidence coming into this one this week.
Top 5 run going too so far for Spencer. No, not quite that worked out.
Down in the 9th position, 32.91.
We talked about the top 31 in speed. That means with 38 trucks here, you have to beat 7. So obviously, for Bailey Curry, he's beaten 10 trucks, so that means he's automatically in, as well as Parker Kligerman, who doesn't really have that many points to fall back on because of the limited schedule, even though they do such a great job when they run.
I love the way Spencer Boyd works his sponsors. You see Pro-Built pulling patio on that truck. He works hard on the internet, social media to take care of the people that helps him get out there and race his truck. And I just really appreciate the effort, and that's a decent start, decent qualifying run so far.
Yeah. There's Dean Thompson in the 40 truck. Another one of those out of the Nice stable.
Ooh, second quick, Vince.
31.76. And we mentioned Eric Jones in that big win at Darlington. Eric is the track record holder for the trucks here at Kansas. Got to go back to 2015. He posted a 30.10.
We knew Eric Jones was a special talent in this series, didn't we, Michael?
Yeah.
When he first came on the scene, obviously he'd already won the Snowball Derby a couple times, but he jumped in a KBM truck to run 5 races his first year and won one of those at Phoenix.
Kind of reminds you of the modern day Corey Haim, huh?
Absolutely.
Corey hops in and just goes to victory lane.
Just gets it done.
Yeah, I'm interested in this showing here tonight. The 22 of Brett Moffitt coming back to the series, former series champion, and second quickest at a 31.66, running that 22.
Moffitt's getting to do double duty.
Yeah.
He's going to run the Xfinity race as well. Good to see him back, isn't it?
Absolutely. I texted with him today. I said, man, have a great time this weekend. Good luck. And I know he's glad to be back in a race car or truck.
Here's Timmy Hill on track in his qualifying run. And meanwhile, while Timmy qualifies, we'll check in with Josh.
Down here with Christian Eckes, 3rd on the board during practice. You enter 6th below the cut line. The word pressure has been thrown around a ton. How are you feeling, especially after practice?
I feel good. Our number 98, CMR Roofing, Toyota Tundra, has a ton of speed today. It's not something we usually do in the top, 5 to 10 on a practice day. So just super proud of everybody at ThorSport Racing. This is a brand new truck, and they've worked their tails off on it. And yeah, we're 6 down but not out, and we're just going to go race hard tonight.
And Christian has finished in the top 10 4 straight times here at Kansas, guys.
Yeah, and top 10 for the last 5 races this season. I think if he does that again tonight, he's going to get in.
Well,
top 10. Yeah, is that going to be good enough, or
it's going to be close?
I don't know.
You got to talk about
stage points too. You know, we had a debate before we went on the air about who we felt good about, who we didn't feel good about, and I feel good about Christian Eckes' chances to get in above that line.
The bottom 3, Kraft and Hocevar and Eckes, covered by 6 points. I mean, it's not going to take much to sway one way or the other.
It could come down straight down to stage points. What they're able to do early in this race, how their qualifying effort goes.
Colby Howard, 2nd quickest. We had a good run here back in May. Just missed the top 10, finished 11th. Seen some good runs from Colby this season.
Yeah, that's his best finish on an oval, I think, right? He's had a better finish on a road course than that.
There's the 24 of Jack Wood, the rookie out of the GMS camp. And we talk so much about the playoff guys and what they're trying to get accomplished in a race like this one tonight. But even for those outside the playoff picture, rookie like Jack Wood, there's plenty on the to-do list and before the season's out.
Yeah, Jack had a solid run going here in the spring and ended up having a loose wheel late in the race, and that took him out of a decent position. But 7th so far for Jack.
You know, you just want to build something, Vince. You got to get some momentum as you race through these final few races of the year. You want to put together some good runs so you can start talking about 2023 and putting a plan together to try to come back even stronger next year.
And out of the Nice camp as well, the 45 Lawless Allen, 22-year-old from Van Nuys, California.
This is a fun track to drive. You can see felt like the groove for qualifying would be right down around the bottom, middle at the highest, but try to get down right against that white line. A lot of grip with these tires right now. That'll go away tonight, but the temperature will go down, so a lot to balance as these drivers get ready to go racing tonight.
And as they essentially run wide open, it's the shortest way around the racetrack. That's why the bottom will work for qualifying.
And I talk about this every time we come to these mile-and-a-half tracks. You got to launch well, too. You know, leaving pit road, getting through the gears properly, and getting through 3 and 4 to the green is a big part of a fast lap. If you don't do that properly, you start behind and you really can't make it up.
If you had 2 laps, it wouldn't be a big deal. But the fact that you have 1 lap, Michael, you're exactly right.
Here's Haley Deegan. Made her Truck Series debut here back in October of 2020.
Got a 16th place finish too, didn't she, Vince? She came right out of the gate. Ran inside the top 20 all night, did a great job. Loose truck, it looks like to me, Phil.
It sure did. She held on to it, though.
Chasing
and held it down.
Yep. Second quickest.
Wow, just 100th of a second off of Bailey Curry's hot lap.
Nice run for Haley.
Bailey and Haley.
And the defending series champ getting strapped in.
10 drivers in, 1 driver out. Only one's left standing in the end. I am the NASCAR Camping World Truck Series playoffs. I am NASCAR.
Back at Kansas Speedway, qualifying underway for tonight's playoff elimination race. 2 drivers will be eliminated from the playoff 10. Watching Caden Honeycutt on track.
We talk about the launch, Vince, and you can see Caden just made that track as big as he could to get all that RPM wound up with the limited power they have. Now we'll see him cut it down to the bottom and take the shorter way around. That's how you do it. That's pretty much textbook there.
Yeah, you see that throttle wide open all the way around there.
So check in with Jamie.
Little trouble for Ryan Priest in the 17 truck right after practice when they plugged in the cooling system. Instead of it circulating the water, it actually sucked all of the water out. They figured it out. They pulled it over. NASCAR let them add some water to it. And the good news is they've got it back to normal. They feel like they've got the problem taken care of. They're pushing him down, and he will roll out in 7 more trucks, Vince.
Disaster averted.
I'm not sure how that the cooling system would suck the water out. It's supposed to recirculate the water, take hot water out, put cold water in.
Brett Holmes, the 32 truck. Honeycutt, by the way, 5th quick in his qualifying lap.
Yeah, I watched him over at Wilkesboro last week running in that late model stock race. He had a top 10 driving for Barry Nelson.
Stefan ran in that race for Sunday.
Yeah, he had top 10 as well. Yeah, it was a fun event, guys.
Yeah.
I'm telling you, it was fun.
I went as well. Just had to check it all out. Seeing Dale Jr. with that big smile on his face, it was a special night.
And he ran good, too. Man, did he run good.
Down to Josh Sims.
And down here with Stuart Friesen, and I remember from the spring you weren't able to do all this, practice or qualify because you missed your flight. Got to be much better and feel a little better to be able to be out here and do this before tonight.
Yeah, absolutely. Hopefully we can get a little bit better handle on it. I was a little free there in practice. Track's pretty hot, pretty slick right now, so tighten it up a little bit and have a little better handle. It was really cool to have Bubba fill in for us in the spring and get this thing pretty close. But hopefully the Halmar team's got a little bit faster truck than we had in race trim in the spring. So you guys been working hard. We're at TRD and HFR. Big thanks to Halmar and Chris Larson, everybody, for getting us here. And smooth night tonight. We're on to the next round.
Thanks and good luck tonight, Stuart. Jamie?
Grant Empfinger won at IRP, and the good news for him and his fans, this is the same truck that went to victory lane. So what do you think, Grant? Is it going to be as good, do you think?
I think so. So it's pretty cool to have Anastasia on there with us. We also have a late friend of mine, Corinne. She's on the passenger side there. But, yeah, we got some Allegiant colors on here, and I think we have some decent speed. Pretty happy with the adjustments we made since May. I think Hensley brought us a pretty good truck.
All right, Grant Empfinger locked in for second round of the playoffs.
And looked good in practice as well, as you watch Tanner Gray finishing up his qualifying lap, and it is the fastest of the group so far at a 31:16.
Wow.
Pretty impressive.
That's big.
That's a faster lap than Matt Crafton led practice with.
Wow. We heard Matt talking about drafting. We know that Tanner wasn't doing any of that, obviously, and he put that lap up. Good job for that team.
That's almost 4/10 quicker than anything else we've seen so far as you watch Matt Benedetto.
I really think this cat's due for a win. I think he's going to have a great run tonight. He likes the big tracks. He's got experience on the super speedways.
And I love that this Brackley team has already announced he will be back next year, so they'll build on what Chad Kendrick and he had been able to accomplish. You saw that he finished 6th was his best finish of the year. I think he finished 7th here in the spring. So good lap for Matt as well. 2nd quickest so far.
Got down into turn 3 and 4 to the center, was tracking right on pace with Tanner Gray, just bobbled a little bit. And you saw just that little bit of a bobble, probably had to pull off the gas a bit, cost him 3 or 4 tenths as he raced back toward the start-finish line.
There's Chase Purdy, 61. You see what he has done this season, that 10th place finish, one of 4 career top 10s, and one of the other top 10 finishes he got right here at Kansas Speedway back in 2020.
Yeah, and he was good in practice, Vince. I think he was 12th in practice, so got a good Bama buggy here.
You see, right now Brennan Poole is 16th. Everybody above Brennan Poole, so that means all these 12 trucks that we see right now on your screen are all locked in. There's Brennan Poole back in 17th. Everybody above him locked into the field so far.
Purdy slots into that 8th position. Sets the stage for Tyler Ankrum.
Teammate from Shigetori's team.
Laiuna on the side of that truck. Nice.
Starting to see them pick it up here in the second half of the season, in particular over the course of the last half dozen or so. Top 10 in 4 of the last 7.
Just a bit of a pedal right there for just an instant.
Yeah, you saw a little bit of a bobble. And look what it cost him. He was 2nd quick till that point, but still a solid run.
6th quickest.
Hey, Vince, let's hop on board. Check out this launch. A little bit of a burnout. I don't mind that, Phil. He didn't just melt them down. That means he had the RPMs up. He got a good launch. I'm liking what he did there. And I wouldn't want to see much more tire spin than that, but it's certainly, I think, better than bogging the engine down.
There's Derek Kraus in the 19. Turned 21 last week and went out on the town with his spotter, Freddie Kraft. And,
oh, boy, that's trouble.
Well, just following Freddie's Twitter account, it seemed like Derek made it through about half the lap. He didn't make it all the way around, but
he wasn't clear.
Yeah, it wasn't for lack of effort.
But a good lap, though. 2nd quickest for Derek Kraus.
Yeah, job well done. Back down to Jamie.
And Corey Heim, one driver, really excited to be back at Kansas. Won the ARCA race here last year and making your 2nd truck start. What is it about this track in particular, Corey, that you really like?
Yeah, Jamie, I feel like, just having this race under my belt in the spring is really going to help me today. Just really get acclimated to this racetrack and figure out kind of what I need to do when I'm unloading. And I feel like, we've really done that today. KBM's brought me a great JBL 100 TRD Pro.
Good luck in qualifying. There's a little bit of a spot he can actually see where he's going on pit road right now.
And Ryan Preece on track, tracking in the green and finishing it up 31:09.
You think we can get down below 31 flat?
I think so.
Yeah, I do too.
I wouldn't be surprised to see John Hunter Nemechek really put up a lap. He's got a great truck here. See what Ben Rhodes can do. A little bit of concern about his speed in practice. We talked to him. Thinks it's handling well, though, and when you're an experienced veteran like Ben Rhodes, if you like the way it feels, I'll go with that every time.
Look at this lap he's got going. He's tracking 1st right now. Let's see how he can do down in 3 and 4. I think that's been the trouble spot for these guys is 3 and 4 right in the center of the corner. If you can get it, stay in that throttle. You see just a bit of a burp, but not a lot.
Going to be close.
Oh, he got it by 100th of a second. Ben Rhodes to the top of the board.
That's a good-looking Kubota Toyota, too, isn't it? I like that bright orange. He'll be easy to spot tonight for those spotters.
Coming up next, Carson Hocevar slipping into the workspace. Gonna check himself out, make sure he looks good. Ten yet to qualify, including Carson Hocevar, who has just rolled off, getting up to speed for his qualifying lap, setting the field for tonight's playoff elimination race. We have 10 drivers in the playoffs. 2 of them will be eliminated tonight, and Carson Hocevar is one of those that heads into this race tonight on the outside looking in.
Look at those eyes, Phil.
Yeah, and running the top of the racetrack, too. Try to make this racetrack as big as it can be, as long as it can be. Just listen to this throttle.
Very, very good handling truck there.
Looks smooth, doesn't it?
See the hands just steadily to the left. Didn't get loose. See what happens in 3 and 4. Oh, that got my attention. And it's loose all the way through the corner, but he didn't take his foot off of it, did he?
Just burped it, like we've seen a couple other guys do.
Good lap.
6th quickest.
Man, after he went through 1 and 2 like he did, I bet you had a lot of confidence when he got down there to 3 that it was just going to stick, but it didn't. That's what we've seen throughout this whole session. A little bit of slipping and sliding in 3 and 4.
Yep. The guy on the bubble coming into this one tonight is Matt Crafton, the 3-time series champion.
Shane Wilson has moved over to ThorSport to call the shots for Matt.
This will be the 2nd race on the box for Wilson and the 88 crew.
See if Matt can get through 3 and 4 any better. It looked like he might have been a little snug in 1 and 2, which could help him handle better here in 3 and 4.
He never backed off, Mike. Never backed off at all.
His fastest in practice, but will be 3rd currently.
Good lap. Only 0.03 of a second off our top spot by Ben Rhodes.
Matt Crafton has a lot of speed in that 88. Be fun to watch him try to navigate around that projected cut line.
Here's Christian Eckes, another one of those drivers below that line. He and Hocevar. Eckes 6 points behind his teammate Crafton.
Look at that, 10th in the bank.
1 and 2 wide open, no issue whatsoever. Let's see what he does down here.
Wow.
Came
Impressive.
off maybe 10% for just an instant.
Look at that speed.
How about that? 30.92.
CMR Roofing on board that ThorSport truck.
First driver under the 31 mark, 31 second mark. But I'm guessing he won't be alone. We'll see others down below the 31 second mark as well, I'm sure. Here's Stuart Friesen. Mentioned earlier that Bubba Wallace practiced and qualified the truck for Stuart back in May when we raced here, and Friesen had some travel troubles, but ended up making it in time for the race. Had to start at the rear of the field.
Never could really overcome it either, Vince. Finished outside of the top 10.
Finished 15th in stage 1, was 10th in stage 2, and then ended up 14th in the race. Qualified 6th here.
I think only one time maybe here has a winner come from outside the top 10 at Kansas Speedway.
That is correct.
Talking with some of the folks down along pit road, Phil, he says just continues to get a little bit hotter this afternoon. So when you're seeing these fast speeds, it's because these trucks are the fastest trucks. They're the best trucks, and they're not taking advantage of weather. It's just the fact that they've got that good of a vehicle under them.
Here's Zane Smith, dominated this race back in May, led the most laps and was the runaway one. I mean, just had them covered.
What did you guys say? You need to be in the top 5 here, Vince?
Well, in
this season anyway,
this
right?
season, 14 of our 18 races, the winners come from the top 5. The average starting position of the winner here at Kansas through our 24 races has been 4th. Matt Crafton currently sits in that spot.
That's pretty close. Zane Smith's pretty close to that 4th, 5th number.
Here's Grant Enfinger.
Good looking Allegiant Airlines truck from GMS Motorsports.
Best average finish through the first 2 playoff races. Won the race at IRP to open the postseason and then finished 4th at Richmond. Don't do the math. That's 2.5.
He struggled a little bit in 1 and 2, and that hurt him all the way down the backstretch, Michael. Really better in 3 and 4 relative to the competition, but you see he's going to be down towards the bottom of the top 10.
8th for Enfinger. You see Enfinger's name highlighted there in green. That's because he's already secured a spot into the second round. The rest will be the rest of the playoff drivers. Highlighted in yellow.
Green's good, right?
Yes, green is
okay.
Go on to the second round. Here's the 51 of Corey Heim. 3 straight top 5s. I mean, he has been red hot, and he's won a couple of times this season as well. Never count him out. Even though he's running a part-time schedule, he has been full-time good.
Such a great season last year in the ARCA Series. Finished second to Ty Gibbs. Won 6 times. Looks like he's going to have the quick time so far. He does at a 89.
300ths better than Eckes. Great job by Corey Heim.
Bailey Curry put up that really good lap early. He's dropped all the way down to 13th. That just tells you how, I mean, he was a couple of 4/10 ahead of the pack when he went, but now the playoff contenders, winners, they're all putting their laps down.
3 to go. Ty Majeski, and then John Hunter Nemechek and Chandler Smith, our final 3 qualifiers. Majeski tracking in the green.
He's going to get there too, Vince. He brings that speed off turn 4. Still in the green.
Mentioned earlier he finished second here in May. He scored the most points this season on the 1.5 mile tracks, and he is fastest so far at a 30.82.
I like the way that truck looked. He got a little bit, he didn't really run that low line through 3 and 4. Went up the hill a little bit. He just kept his foot in it, had a lot of speed.
Nobody's won the pole more times this season than the driver of this truck, and that's John Hunter Nemechek, 5-time pole winner this season.
It looked like it through 1 and 2, didn't it?
Got a bit of a Toyota parade at the front of this field, don't we?
Yes, we do.
You know, it's interesting. There's been so much talk as we watch John Hunter Nemechek and then the final qualifier, Chandler Smith, both out of the Kyle Busch Motorsports camp. And Mike, you mentioned the Toyota parade. So much conversation about where Kyle's going to land on the Cup side. And if he would happen to go to another manufacturer other than Toyota, there's going to be some big changes at Kyle Busch Motorsports.
I would think he would not stick with Toyota if he went to another manufacturer. Toyota obviously is so invested in KBM, but time will tell. Hopefully, I know Kyle's anxious to get it done with and get it put to bed. I hear about a few options that maybe Kyle has for next year.
I think it's pretty much put to bed. They just won't tell us what bed it is yet.
Of course, all the engines are Ilmor engines, but the brand is significant.
Yeah, they get a lot of support from Toyota, and obviously, I think if he goes to a different manufacturer, they would look at probably doing something elsewhere.
Chandler Smith, 5th, and that means Nemechek has done it again. His 8th career pole and the 6th this season. And we should point out the guy before qualifying that Michael Waltrip predicted would win tonight. So you're looking pretty smart, Mike.
You know,
there's first time for everything.
Sometimes you just get lucky, man.
And he put me on the spot, and the guy I picked is second.
Nice. We've been doing these truck races a few years, Phil.
It's been a while.
We should probably get it halfway figured out at this point.
You would think.
Oh,
the all our playoff drivers though up in the top 15.
Carson Hocevar, you see, he's 15th, as you talked about, Phil. That was a loose truck. He had his hands full, so that's why you see him back there. As the weather cools down, temperatures get a little bit
good.
Yeah, it could be just what he's looking for.
Well, this is the front row for tonight, and wouldn't be surprised to see. Well, I think they're going to have plenty of company because I think we're going to have a knockdown drag-out tonight. I really do think it's going to be a great race. Nemechek and Majeski on the front row. Qualifying is complete. We'll talk to some of the participants when we come back to Kansas. I'm often asked, Kansas Speedway, is that Kansas City, Kansas, or Kansas City, Missouri? What you see there is the skyline of Kansas City, Missouri, but the racetrack is actually in the state of Kansas.
That's right. Yeah, you want to get Clint Boyer going about something. Talk to him about that. He said, it's Kansas. It says it right on the wall.
Well, and the king of Kansas so far is John Hunter Nemechek. He's with Jamie.
And John Hunter Nemechek, fastest man on Friday. 6th pole this season, 3rd here at Kansas. You were telling me earlier you had your eye on this qualifying run. How important is it to get the pole for tonight?
It's important to get the pole for tonight to race here in Kansas, but this is the cutoff race for us, and I feel like we're in a decent spot. So our motto is survive and advance. But getting the pole here tonight should help next week on picking pits for Bristol, which is the first race of the next round. So pretty important. We kind of circled this one with the points position that we were in, not having to worry about it too much. So hopefully we can just go out, have a flawless night, not make any mistakes, and get this Mobil 1 Toyota Tundra TRD Pro to victory lane.
Word on the street is you and the 66 have been the fastest truck since you guys unloaded. Where do you feel like you stack up? I know you only had 20 minutes to figure it out.
I didn't really look at lap tracker that much after practice. I was looking for more of a balanced feel going into tonight. We know that the racetrack is going to change, so just hopefully we can hit all of our adjustments correctly and put this Toyota Tundra TRD Pro in victory lane. I know Eric and all the guys have been working really hard here recently, and we've been off a little bit all year in race trim. We've been really fast in qualifying trim, so just need to go get some checkered flags and make it to the Final Four come Phoenix and have a shot to go win this championship.
All right, John Hunter Nemechek, your pole sitter at Kansas. Josh?
And Ty Majeski starting on the front row for the 5th time this season. How does this starting position set you up for tonight?
I feel good about it. You know, it was important for us to come in here and have a good stage one. And if we do that, I think we'll feel pretty good about our points position. So hopefully we can do that, put stage one together and go have a good rest of the race and try and chase a win. I feel like we've got a good Road Ranger Toyota Tundra TRD Pro that can compete for the win tonight. And just a testament to everybody at ThorSport. We've got all 4 trucks in the top 9 and 3 of the top 6. So that's pretty cool. I feel like we're getting our trucks better, and I feel like we're peaking at the right time.
And Ty finished 2nd here in the spring, looking to finish 1 spot better tonight.
Well, that's for sure, and it would be his first career win, and boy, how big would that be as you see the starting lineup for the race tonight. Of course, all those drivers with the playoff icon are racing for the championship still, and Friesen back there in row 6 along with Infinger, who's already secured his way into round 2.
Good runs for Derek Kraus and Matt DiBenedetto back in row number 7.
And keep your eye on Parker Kligerman back on row 12. He'll be charging through this field. There's going to be a lot of guys that are going to come from the back and have a chance to be in the top 10 before this night's over.
Well, and we've talked about the playoffs and those chasing wins, etc. But no matter who you are and where you start, you've got something to race for, and there are goals for all, and we'll see who can achieve what tonight when we drop the green flag a little after 7:30 this evening. By the way, Tate Fogelman and Trey Hutchins, the 2 drivers that did not make the show, as you see John Hunter going in for the debrief. And John Hunter Nemechek talking about surviving and advancing, etc. And you know, that's all well and good, but with just 1 win this season, you know how good it would feel to get that checkered flag. And not just for Nemechek, but also for that guy, Ty Majeski. It would be his first career win. Race day coming up tonight on FS1 at 6:30. And then we'll drop the green a little after 7:30 from right here at Kansas Speedway. Join us.